You are listening to a story on Midnight Secrets TV, where your IQ will always be respected. Enjoy the story. Blurb. In a reality show revolving around mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law, when many other mothers-in-law keep pressing their daughters-in-law about having children, I take my daughter-in-law on vacation, to beauty treatments, and even pass on to her my secrets for keeping youthful. Don't rush to marry, and you'll stay forever young. Don't rush to give birth, and your life will be free and at ease. While many mother-in-law/daughter-in-law pairs argue nonstop, I team up with my daughter-in-law to take down those fake innocent mistresses and let no one bully her. I even buy her luxurious jewelry to comfort her. She has money, beauty, a career, and a loving mother-in-law. In that case, who cares where the husband goes, right? In the blink of an eye, from a haughty rich madam, I've turned into the nation's favorite mother-in-law with an unlimited money-solving superpower. On the day of filming episode 2, I slept straight through until noon, then bounced up and hopped on one foot, my legs still a bit unsteady, as I came downstairs. Van Yerk, my young daughter-in-law, who's also a Best Actress, hurried over to support me when she saw that. I immediately brushed her hand away and stubbornly hopped down by myself. No need, I'm still more than fine. Van Yerk forced a smile and played along. Yes, Mom is forever 18. On the live comment screen, the numbers kept soaring. Sarcasm everywhere. My God, here we go again. This shrew is the same as ever. A bump is fine, but to twist her own ankle badly enough to wind up in the ER? Speechless. What kind of acting is that? Always making a fuss like she's the main event. Nonsense. Who among us, if we went to bed sleeping soundly and woke up feeling decades older, wouldn't have a face as dark as the soles of our feet? At the moment, I've just had a traffic bump, so I'm still walking with some difficulty. On top of that, I was stunned to discover I've married my mortal enemy from college. Not only that, I even gave him a good-for-nothing son, while I myself turned into a gloomy wife, something I used to think would be a tragedy. Right now, the resentment in my heart is perhaps thicker than the night itself. What's for lunch? I had just landed safely on the floor when Van Yerk let out a breath of relief and answered carefully. It'll just be the two of us eating. I cooked 3 dishes and a soup. She fell silent quickly, her eyes sneaking a glance to read my expression. Meanwhile, the live comment channel started to fill with more snide lines. Sleeping till this hour to get up, yet the show requires mother-in-law and daughter-in-law to do things together. Nyerk already did it alone, and that woman still has the nerve to nitpick. Remember the previous recording? She insisted on eating a limited item dish at a restaurant, making Nyerk go hungry for 5 hours. Right in the very first episode, my image collapsed completely. This is ostensibly a reality show about mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law. The first ever web show revolves around 5 famous couples in the entertainment circle. There's a fading second-tier star. Her mother-in-law complains that daughter-in-law has no value. There's a Taiwanese MC who married into wealth. Her mother-in-law is obsessed with having a male heir. There's a top actress with a packed schedule. Her mother-in-law only longs to have a grandchild soon. And there's a composer who has returned from abroad, paired with a tycoon mother-in-law. Ironically, that female composer, Lum Sun, is the biggest love rival of my daughter-in-law, Van Yerk, and also used to be the ex-girlfriend of my useless son. The mother-in-law accompanying her, Madame Chow, used to pursue my husband all through college. The two of them join hands with perfect tacit understanding, getting along harmoniously, cooperating as naturally as a real mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. And so that pair has become a complete foil to me and Van Yerk. In the premiere, the other pairs still tried to restrain themselves because they were on camera. Only I behaved true to my temper. Although Van Yerk withdrew from the entertainment circle nearly a year ago, the influence and strong fan base of a Best Actress don't fade so easily. So the one who got criticized the most in episode 1 was none other than me. That noon, I held the bowl of soup that Van Yerk had served, took a sip under her expectant gaze, then frowned. From now on, don't cook anymore. The live comments exploded. I knew it. How does she have the face to criticize Nyerk? If she's so good, let her do it herself. Does she really think joining the show is for enjoyment? On the other side, Madame Chow even praised Lumsan's cooking, though she's only used to striking piano keys, not holding a knife. A hint of disappointment flashed across Vanyerk's face. She asked softly, "It doesn't suit your taste, Mom? Or should I order from the restaurant you like?" I didn't answer directly, just laid a bank card on the table. "Call the chef of that restaurant to come here. My daughter-in-law doesn't need to toil in the kitchen." And once again, the comment channel exploded. Is this shrew planning to make Nyerk starve another 5 hours? Wait, what's that? Blindingly shiny. Am I mistaken, or is that the kind of power card only the ultra-rich use? Is this for real? Vanyerk was dumbfounded. Then what about these dishes? I nodded, my tone utterly casual. "Very good, you've worked hard. Whatever you want to buy, just use this card." Immediately, hashtags like "Madame Hua arrogantly waves a black card to summon a chef" and "My daughter-in-law doesn't need to cook, just swipe" shot onto the trending board. The show is broadcast live, so the effect was explosive. That afternoon, the task for the mother-in-law/daughter-in-law pairs was to go shopping together to bond. The show's allure lies in letting the audience witness firsthand how celebrities live with wealthy mothers-in-law. Easier said than done. Most of those mothers-in-law are more difficult than sudden rain. But whatever, I had nothing better to do anyway. Strolling was fine. I don't know if it was staged or just a coincidence. The moment I set foot in the mall, I ran right into Lumsan and Madame Chiu. Cameras and audience instantly swarmed. The crowd rushed to watch Lumsan perform piano in the atrium. Some asked for autographs, others jostled to take photos. Madame Chiu stood beside her, clapping proudly, the very picture of an ideal mother-in-law/daughter-in-law scene. Pretty convincing, even if it's pretended. Who was it back in school that hated girls who played instruments the most, saying they were just putting on a show to attract attention? Applause thundered through the mall when Lumsan finished. I hadn't planned to speak, but unexpectedly she smiled brightly and ran straight toward me. "Auntie Hu, you're here too. I heard Ah Tung say you were in an accident. I haven't had time to visit." Standing beside me, Vanyerk's eyes drooped for a moment. What she meant was nothing but a hazy announcement that my son, Fa Tung, was still in contact with her. I waved lightly. 2 tall bodyguards immediately stepped forward, forming a human wall right in front of me, cutting off Lumsan's path. I asked coolly, "Who are you?" She froze, shocked. "You don't recognize me. I'm Lumsan. Before this Ah Tung even took me home to meet you." Vanyerk's heart twinged again. Bitter. So Fa Tung had already brought her home to meet the family. I raised an eyebrow, my tone full of mockery. Random friends, all kinds of wayward types, and plenty that Fa Tung brought home. He's held parties inviting who knows how many people. Must I remember them all? Lumsan was immediately flustered, her face losing composure. Didn't she join the show precisely to build the image of a well-behaved daughter-in-law and find a way to win me over, the famously picky one who dislikes her son's current wife? Actually, I'm Atong's ex-girlfriend. Later, I went to study abroad, so we had to break up temporarily. The live audience exploded. Oh my God, the drama! Best Actress Vanyerk's love rival is actually Lumsan, and they're on the same mother-in-law/daughter-in-law show? Clearly, this ex-girlfriend is still entangled with Fa Tung. Don't tell me Vanyerk retired for that man. And it seems Lumsan is acquainted with that overbearing Madame Chun, so was she long ago eyed to be the daughter-in-law? No wonder Nyerk has had to endure. Like mother, like son. I let out a cold laugh. "Oh? Now I remember. You're the very same high school Lemsun who made Fa Tung buy you a car, a house, and even asked for $1 million to go study abroad, right?" My mind is back in my 20s, not amnesiac. I'm no stranger to the flowery tricks of green tea girls. Madame Trio glanced at me. A vein twitched at her temple, her face faintly aghast. The way I stood now was exactly my posture at 20, enough to make every rich madam wary. Don't ask, everyone who ever asked has tasted it. I glanced at Lam San and lowered my voice icily. Are you still in contact with Fa Tong? Then I handed my handbag to Van Yerk. Hold this for Mom. Van Yerk turned pale with alarm. Mom, don't hit people. I soothed her blandly. Relax. She exhaled in relief, only to hear me continue. I just intend to strip off her thick skin. Van Yerk was completely petrified, while the audience rode an emotional roller coaster. Too many hard-to-digest revelations at once. Who would have thought Best Actress Van Yerk's husband used to be Lam San's boyfriend and even took her home to meet the family? A storyline tailor-made to infuriate the audience. Mother and son clearly aren't good sorts. Then another exposé. Turns out, back in high school, Lam San demanded a car, a house, and money to go abroad. Isn't the image she cultivates that of a lofty artist, untouched by worldly dust? Truly, you can't judge a heart by its face. The live comments surged again. Madame Hua is razor sharp. The show is clearly live, so there's no script. Do we even need to say it? What mother-in-law in the wealthy circle would agree to follow a script? Anyone else think Madame He is awesome? Nurk is clearly a top leading lady, yet she's so obedient in front of her mother-in-law. Madame He even threatens to strip someone's face, and Nurk rushes in to stop her. Suddenly, I feel Madame He truly loves her daughter-in-law. For meals, she drags the chef home, and when facing the rival in love, she doesn't even need her daughter-in-law to act. She takes the front line herself. A few fans of Lam San tried to defend her, but sadly, their voices were quickly drowned in the boiling sea of comments. After all, Lam San is just a pianist newly returned to the country, riding a bit of fame, not enough to withstand a tidal wave of public opinion. But Van Yerk, a true Best Actress, young yet debuted early, with a loyal fan base that has endured, how could she be matched? Exposed right before the public, Lam San grit her teeth till they were about to crack, yet had to hold her expression in check, tears brimming. I didn't, Auntie. I truly didn't. A Tong wanted to give me things, but I refused. I earned my entire study abroad fund myself. At the moment, she looked exactly like a delicate white flower, frail yet unyielding, as if vowing never to bow to power. Unfortunately, I, Madame He, particularly enjoy snapping such fake noble flowers. I curled my lip, voice cold. Ah, yes, you're so lofty, so capable. A high schooler and even the provincial theater invited you to hold concerts. Even the Leshan Buddha isn't that merciful. Weren't those performances all in halls selected by Fo Tong? Saying you didn't take his money, turns out you were taking mine. Thinking of my own bank card, my heart ached. When I got home, I would definitely freeze that unfilial son's card. This time, the tears on Lam San's face were real. She couldn't act anymore, and they spilled over. The PD, seeing the atmosphere freeze, hurried over to remind Madame Trio. Her script is mother-in-law who loves her daughter-in-law, so now's the time to stand by Lam San. Look how public opinion is turning against you. Madame Trio swallowed hard. If it were the old days, with a mouth toughened by years of quarreling, she might dare fight around. But right now, faced with a ferocious Madame He reverted to true form, she only wanted to withdraw silently. I, on the other hand, didn't bother to stop. I turned and landed another blow. Nurk, how many points would you give her acting? Suddenly called, Van Yerk blinked. Aren't you about to be a film festival judge? Practice in advance. She caught my drift, glanced at the tear-streaked Lam San like a flower withered in the rain, and said, the emotion is genuine, probably not acting. The audience in the comment channel nearly died laughing. Ha ha ha, an international film festival judge personally certifies. Too good. Such a vivid public execution, this must go into the Beijing Film Academy curriculum. No technique, only feeling. This lady's natural acting, even our Nurk has to bow to. Startled like she'd been electrocuted, Madame Trio shot up from her daze, eyes bulging at me. After all, Lumsan bears the name of her daughter-in-law. No matter how bad she is, it's not an outsider's turn to criticize. Moreover, the mess wasn't caused by Lumsan. The fault lay with my son, who couldn't control himself. Her competitive nature flared. She tugged Lumsan's hand, her gaze sharp. We don't need to stoop to this kind of person. If she can't even manage her son, what's it to our daughter-in-law? Don't be upset. I'll buy you the newest model handbag. I gave a brief sideways glance, sneering. If you cherish her so much, why not have your son marry her? The words slipped out of Madame Trio's mouth before she could think. How could my son marry the type like Lumsan? The entire crew stared in horror. The sound of sharp intakes of breath grew, everyone waiting for her to continue. As expected, what's scary isn't a strong enemy, it's your own ally. She hurried to patch it up. Don't make trouble. Clearly, you and Van Yerk dislike each other. Now you want to sow discord with others. I said coolly. You're so close with your daughter-in-law, then why are you on the show with someone else instead of your own daughter-in-law? She choked. I added, impossible? Who goes on a mother-in-law/daughter-in-law show without bringing her real daughter-in-law? Then I finished bluntly. I hear your daughter-in-law has remarried. Is it because no one's interested in your son? Madame Trau flushed and shouted, Is your son any better? I answered calmly, He's indeed rotten. So what? That frank admission stunned the entire set. My God, every word out of Madame Hua hits the mark. Her tongue is like a knife. It's cathartic to hear. Young and old alike can't get a word in. My fatigue and pent-up frustration evaporate. In high spirits, I skipped straight to a luxury boutique. Van Yerk hurried after me with the bags, flustered. Mom, slow down. Your leg isn't fully healed. Hua may limp, but my spirit never knows fear. In the boutique, we ran into another show pair, Liu Mian, the Taiwanese MC who married into a wealthy family, and her mother-in-law notorious for preferring sons. Oh, this bag suits my second daughter so well. Mom, buy her one. The second daughter she mentioned is her eldest child. Though not yet 30, Liu Mian already has 2 daughters. Her mother-in-law just snorted twice, not bothering to answer. It's already the 2nd episode. No one is pretending to be nice anymore. Seeing Liu Mian coquettishly ask for a bag, the older woman sneered. Your daughter's so little, what does she need a bag for? Won't you just end up using it yourself? Liu Mian looked a bit guilty, but in front of the camera, she still tried to play sweet. Buy one, mother-in-law. It's a new model. You can't get it in Taiwan, please. That soft, syrupy voice, plus her heart-stopping beauty, no matter how you see it, it's pleasing to the ears and eyes. I turned to look at dazzling Van Yerk beside me. Well now, don't I also have a great beauty at my side? A screen goddess perfect to the detail, no less. I frowned. Why don't you act cute to me? Act cute? I lifted my chin, full of momentum. Listen to her. Doesn't she sound adorable? Call me Big Sis, and I'll buy you a bag. Van Yerk turned to stone. The comments exploded. Ah, Nirk, act cute. Beg her. Today's sweet fan service is curated by Madame Hua. Van Yerk stammered, ears red. Mom, wrong form of address. That's sis. Sis what? Although her mother-in-law looks very young, she didn't understand why a domineering woman who usually never smiles was so different on the show. Before, living with her felt like handing over work to a superior, an oppressive feeling. Now it felt like being teased. Before she figured out what to do, Liu Mian's group came over to greet us. Van Yuk secretly sighed with relief. Perhaps she could dodge this hurdle. Soft and sweet, honey flows from Liu Mian's mouth. No wonder she's a top MC, famous even on the mainland. Auntie He, Nyuk, you're here for bags too? Like hearing angelic music, who could stay cold to a little angel? Anyone else maybe, but I couldn't. I smiled. Yes, see anything you like? I'll gift it to you. The live comments. Madame He is at it again, using her money superpower just because of one pleasant sentence. But these are luxury goods. The display pieces aren't basic lines. Some are hundreds of thousands, up to over 1,000,000 yuan. Isn't she afraid Liu Mian will pick the most expensive? But Liu Mian isn't one to take advantage. She smiled sweetly. Thank you, Auntie He. I accept your kindness, okay? But no need. I can buy it myself. Too cute. Help, I'm in love with this sweet girl. Meanwhile, her mother-in-law's face darkened. After all, that's her family's daughter-in-law. If another person buys her a bag that the mother-in-law herself wouldn't buy, won't comparisons make her look bad? It's just a bag. Anyone can buy one. Thank you, mother-in-law. Big sis will thank you too. So sweet. When will I have a life with a girl acting cute to me like this? I stared at Liu Mian, completely missing how strange Vunyurk's expression had become. The comments. Right now, Nyurk looks exactly like when you catch your lover hiding witchcraft in the closet. Is she jealous? So Madame He prefers sweet girls? No wonder there were rumors she and Nyurk didn't get along. Do you all see Nyurk as someone who doesn't get along with Madame He? I was still lost in Liu Mian's honeyed voice when my sleeve was gently tugged. Mom, buy me a bag, please, please. Fans exploded. Our Nyurk is acting cute to Madame He. Who can tell me why our queen is so adorable when she acts coy? Ugh, fans of both got a jackpot today. Fans of Nyurk and fans of the sweet girl feast alike. Madame He, you're my religion. I waved for the sales associate to bring out all the newest models for me to choose. After a glance, I pointed at a few bags so ugly they were beyond words. Garish colors, bizarre shapes. Madame He's taste is unusual. Spending a fortune on such things? The world of the wealthy, I'll never understand. Leisurely savoring pastries and the tea the staff served, I said, wrap up all of them, except those few. The audience burst out laughing. Madame He is still Madame He, never lets us down. The moment I saw her walking oddly, I knew a domineering move was coming. Even Vunyurk was stunned. No need to buy so many, one is enough. The sales associate immediately handed me an iPad to select more. I didn't care much, only said blandly, when we get home, I'll give you a dedicated room just for bags. I don't see that Photong's bought you many. Each season, all the newest models will be sent straight home. If you're busy, just glance at the photos and have them delivered. I arched a brow, tone casual. Who complains of too many bags? Blushing, right on the spot, Vunyurk acted cute. Thank you, Mom. The audience flared again. Wow, she suddenly looks as young as 18. Who said call her madam? It should be Sister He. She looks like she's still in high school. K-dramas about chaebol families are still too tame compared to reality. Just how rich is Madame He? So what if she's rich? Isn't it still men's money? Someone still doesn't know? She uses her own surname He, not her husband's foe, because all the money is her own. Haven't you heard her grandmother was a powerful figure in the tycoon world? She's not famous only because she lives low-key. If it's from her father, then it's still men's money, right? Sorry, her mother is also a businesswoman, equal to her father. In one short day, my image flipped drastically. Meanwhile, after paying, Liu Mian had to listen to her mother-in-law's nagging. Don't join these shows again. Stay home, get pregnant, and take care of the pregnancy. You're spending too much before you've earned. Your main task is to give us a grandson, to continue the family line. That's what matters most. Didn't even Vunyurk retire for her husband? Are you better than her? Where there are people, there are comparisons. The distance wasn't far. I could hear every word clearly. Already upset that we'd bought too many bags, being compared on live TV made the older woman look even stingier. I didn't care for such pettiness. Even if I knew, I wouldn't change my lifestyle to appease others. Cutting back on spending is impossible. Having mentioned Vunyurk, remaining silent wouldn't be impolite. Besides, the thing used for comparison wasn't something to brag about, as if implying Vunyurk is a lovelorn fool willing to give up her career for a man. Smiling, in a clear voice, Vunyurk said, Auntie, over the past year, I've been studying directing at the Film Academy. I haven't made money, but I've learned a lot. She had never responded directly to retirement rumors. No one expected she'd announce the reason right on the show. That statement immediately smashed all the rumors of the past year. Some said she married into wealth and achieved her life's goal. Others claimed she focused on pregnancy to keep her husband. Some maliciously claimed she was heartbroken and depressed. No one imagined she paused at career peak to study, to accumulate and grow. The mother-in-law's face darkened, unwilling to give up. If you don't give birth now, you'll have to later. Without a son, who will inherit the family assets? She even added a jab. I advise Madame He to have her daughter-in-law prepare for pregnancy soon. Otherwise, if she gives birth to girls, in the end, there still won't be a son to carry on the line. It was a pointed dig at Liu Min. No matter how sweet a girl is, words like that hurt. Van York couldn't say much with her mother-in-law right there. It wasn't convenient to lay out her own views. She had thought, what if Mom truly prefers sons? She doesn't have a daughter herself. Surrounded by a tentative service on par with a butler, I said, if your assets must be passed down only through sons, perhaps you should reflect on whether your assets are insufficient. The mother-in-law forced a laugh. Won't Madame He's assets also be passed to her son? Nonsense. I only had one child. If he turns out a stinker, what can I do? My parents' assets are already mine. They're party members. They don't know what preferring sons is. Your family must have some title that needs inheriting. No son, no heir. Right then. Good day. In a single day, my image reversed, pulling the show's viewership up sharply. When I got home, I received a call from Fo Tong. Mom, why are all my cards frozen? I replied calmly, because you're too rich. What am I supposed to use to buy things? Money, obviously. But the cards are frozen. That's my money. Earn your own and spend that. After hanging up, he felt as if the world had collapsed. Standing beside me, Van York looked at me with eyes full of both sympathy and at a loss for words. But since the accident, I still hadn't seen that mortal enemy. Disgusting. Married and with a child, and he still wants to make trouble with me. Mom, did you forget? Dad is still in the hospital. A beat of silence. Fine, I admit, the enemy dad is actually me. Do you want to visit Dad? Not really necessary. If he's unwell, let him find an imperial physician. Are you a doctor? As if my mere look could make him get up. Although I said that, in the end, I still went, because Van York told me he was seriously injured while protecting me and hadn't been discharged. Thanks to the money superpower, Phony and Trek had passed the critical stage and was moved to a regular ward a few days ago. When I arrived slowly, he was awake, and my unfilial son was feeding him porridge. Why this room? With my money superpower, it should at least be a top VIP suite. Fo Tong forced an ingratiating smile. My merciful mother, you froze all my cards 2 days ago. If you hadn't come, the next thing to be frozen would be Dad's medications. I was horrified. Doesn't Phone Niantrek have money? Dad just woke up. I don't know his card pins. This ward and the porridge cost me even my belt to pawn. If you'd come any later, Dad wouldn't even have porridge. I sheepishly touched my nose. Well, I'm here now, aren't I? With the money superpower, Phony and Trek was transferred to a VIP special care suite. In the rush, no one noticed the paparazzi. From beginning to end, Phony and Trek didn't say a word to me. Before, at least we'd argue. Now, after fighting, the relationship was even tenser than before. But that face, still handsome, over 40 yet looks just past 30, stylish as ever, phoenix eyes slightly upturned, unbelievably dashing. I sat in a massage chair, still limping, and he didn't even ask. If my marriage with him continues like this, I'd rather not keep it. Phony and Trek. If you're unhappy, we can end it peacefully. You don't need to be like this. Unexpectedly, his eyes reddened at once. If Huziep never liked me, why insist on keeping me in the first place? If only to humiliate me, why marry me? His words knocked me back. What do you mean keep? What do you mean humiliate? Going that far? Seeing his aggrieved look, what is he even saying? Buried memories suddenly surged. Turns out later, between becoming beautiful and becoming rich, I chose to become a maniac. After the college entrance exam, Phony and Trek's family went bankrupt. He got into a top university but had no money. He could only work part-time to support his family. Later, a predatory entertainment company tricked him into signing, with huge penalties. A family already in hardship sank further. At a party, I saw him forced to pour drinks. I mistakenly thought the campus golden boy had destroyed himself, fallen into a brothel world. With a principle of never showing mercy to enemies who have fallen into the mud, I mocked and humiliated him. Unexpectedly, he didn't flinch. He pinned me in a dark stairwell and kissed me senseless. I slapped him. "So as long as I give you money, you'll do anything, right?" He laughed bitterly. "If you give me money, I'll do anything for you." At the time, relying on his good looks, he had a supporting role in a film and started to be known. The company took advantage and pushed him out to sell his body. I flew into a rage at his depravity. He ignored my sharp words, kissed my wrist, and begged humbly, "Hooziep, please keep me." With my green ladder of connections, he sailed smoothly, unsullied by the murky entertainment circle. I invested in many films. He rose straight to the top, winning the Big TV Best Actor Award, then the Big Film Best Actor Award, then retired completely. As the patron behind him, I seized everything, right up to marriage and childbirth. I truly was a ruthless villain. With a patron and kept little star beginning so tainted, how could the relationship develop normally? I loved and hated him. From my perspective, he was forced from start to finish, so naturally he wouldn't love me. Every demand and act of mine was a shackle and pain upon him. After giving birth, he was busy with work. Even with limitless money, I became sensitive and fragile, postpartum nearly depressed. He had to retire for 2 years at career peak to care for the baby, then face huge pressure to return and start over. When we married, he didn't hide it. He lost countless fans. I, used to solving problems with money, whenever he ran into trouble, I threw piles of cash. He wanted to rely on his own ability. He raised those phoenix eyes. "Besides spending money, what do you know how to do?" I scoffed. "Besides spending money, what else do I need to know?" He'd had this personality since school. That's why we clashed so badly. Although I seized everything, he could have refused. I'm not unreasonable. I didn't force him to be kept. I didn't force him to marry me. Now he plays the victim while saving face. For whom? If we're unhappy together, let's divorce. It's not like I can't live without him. Why drag it out? I've gnawed on this tough fruit for years. If I can't swallow it anymore, I'll spit it out. Who owes him? I looked at him coldly. I was wrong. I'll let you go. I'll have the lawyer send divorce papers. Crash. At the door, Tong stood with the rinsed lunchbox now shattered on the floor. He'd only gone to wash dishes. How did his family become single parent in a blink? I gave him a glance and added, "Custody of my grandchild can go to you. I don't need it. But my daughter-in-law belongs to me." He broke down. "Mom, I'm an adult." He couldn't understand it. He just washed dishes and returned to find himself an abandoned child. Clearly, his parents argued, then divorced. How did it become losing his wife and having cards frozen? "Mom, can you hear your son's screams inside?" Things with Phony and Trek weren't over when breaking news rocketed to the top searches. Phony and Trek and Madam He are married. The entertainment legend who vanished is secretly married to Madam He. And rumor has it that on the day of her car accident, the other injured person was Phony and Trek. So is Nyerk Nyerk the heroine of a novel? Her father-in-law's a legend, her mother-in-law is a tycoon's daughter, and she herself is a best actress. The only flaw is a bland, practically non-existent husband. Heaven, novels don't dare write it this way. Doesn't anyone see Madam He is the true female lead holding the script? When Mr. Fo announced his marriage, it coincided with winning a major award. Many fans fainted, literally. Ambulances were called. In this family, pick anyone and you get a main character script dropped from the sky. Even CEO Fo is at least a CEO. Meanwhile, CEO Fo howled inside, "Thanks, I'm just an abandoned child." At 20, I had my cards frozen and had to pawn my belt. Even my wife is being snatched by my mother. Elsewhere, the show suddenly announced that subsequent episodes would gather the 5 mother-in-law/daughter-in-law pairs at one location for filming to let them exchange experience and improve together. Big words aside, in truth, they saw that head-to-head pairings drove the most traffic, so they changed rules overnight to chase heat. Episode 3 began, and so did disputes and rivalries. The washed-up second-tier actress started getting up at 5 a.m. to cook for her mother-in-law daily, triggering a chain reaction. The gas stoves nearly smoked. To salvage her gentle image, Lam San gritted her teeth and rose early too. At that time, I was sleeping for beauty. When Van Yerk woke and saw the others had already eaten, she wanted to cook for me. But since I wasn't up yet, she prepped ingredients first, planning to cook when I woke. I slept straight past noon. The others not only finished eating, the dishes were already washed before I slowly woke. Seeing me come out, script in hand, she asked, "Mom, you're awake? What would you like this morning?" I nodded, pleased. Children are easy to teach. I'm addicted to that coy voice. Indeed, my choice not to want a son was correct. Did you sleep well? Our household chef is here. Not knowing your taste, I brought a Cantonese chef. Do you like it? As soon as I finished, a brisk woman came in carrying steamers, busied herself efficiently, no wasted motions, while I slowly sipped the warm water that Van Yerk poured. Madame Hua's mobile chef, if the money is strong enough, there's a magic door anywhere. The rich even divide chefs by cuisine, so yes, the Hua family's daughter-in-law truly doesn't need to cook. I'd marry an ugly scumbag husband if I could have Madame Hua as my mother-in-law. It's done. Feelings can fade. Madame Hua's husband is Fo Nian Trek, the #1 Asian heartthrob. Ever heard? CEO Fo may be average in ability, but he's definitely not ugly. By the time I finished my warm water, breakfast was ready. Not much, refined, and just enough. Did you get up to wash vegetables this morning? Your hands will be ruined. Go get hand care this afternoon. Startled by the concern, she seemed unaccustomed. No need, Mom. Just washing vegetables. No need to overdo it. I bit into an emperor prawn dumpling and shook my head. Overdo it? Living with faux tongue? What kind of life did you have? These are trivial daily matters. You should get used to them early. Living with me? This is normal. Yes, my intention to win custody of my daughter-in-law never dies. Lunchtime had indeed improved a lot. Only the washed-up second-tier actress still stood in the kitchen, up since 5 a.m. The rest either ordered in or ate out, then busied with their work, especially the top actress with a packed schedule. During the show, she still had to rush to the film crew to reshoot scenes. Her mother-in-law was unhappy. "You're busy normally, fine, but on a reality show too? Leaving this old woman here alone, what's that look like?" The actress said helplessly, "The film must be submitted for review soon. I'll be back tonight. I'll take you to a nice dinner." Do I look like I'm starving? If you're so busy, when will you have a baby? Why bring that up again? I'm at the peak of my career. Oh, so the peak means you can throw family aside? How many times a month do you come home? You leave your husband alone at home waiting. What is that? She tried to explain, but her mother-in-law cut her off. Don't talk to me about peak career. Look at Van Yuk. She's a best actress and still retired to live peacefully with her husband. She didn't wash up out of relevance. Oh ho, calling my daughter-in-law again? So she leaves a good impression on other mothers-in-law? Too bad they missed the point. You should talk more with Van Yuk. See how she balances work and family. On the show, she devotes herself to her mother-in-law. Her family isn't short of money. I can be like Madame Hua and take you for daily care. Oh ho, I'm all ears when money is mentioned. Nyurk nyurk, tomorrow I'll take you to pick jewelry, okay? The film festival is coming. Your first red carpet since returning. Consider it my congratulations. I fully support whatever work she wants. Don't bring us up, someone muttered. The other mother-in-law forced a smile. If she's returning, she'll be busy. When do you plan to have children? The classic question made her smile awkwardly, yet politely. We'll let it be. When it's time, it will happen. More useless, airy talk. Seeing she couldn't get anywhere with my daughter-in-law, the other mother-in-law turned to me. Doesn't Madame He have plans? Not important. I'm not the one giving birth. In the car, Van Yuk asked, Do you really not want grandchildren? Grandchildren? I'm still a child myself. No thanks. If you two have them, I won't help care. What if we don't want kids? No problem. Fo Tong will get a vasectomy. She couldn't help laughing. In my words, he's both scummy and getting snipped. I was delighted, completely ignoring my son. Their life is theirs. Let them decide. This year's film festival invited all 4 actresses on the show. Naturally, big events, famous or not, people try to squeeze in. Only the rank differs. The washed-up second-tier actress still attended as a supporting role. The top actress had her first lead in a film. Liu Mian was invited as host. As for pianist, no idea how she got an invitation. Netizens dug out that hers wasn't a guest seat, but an audience seat. The film festival became a dedicated topic because it was the show's highlight, mainly revealing the secret prep of female stars before the red carpet. Everyone thought I'd take my daughter-in-law to a jewelry exhibition, but no, I took her straight to an auction house. The comment channel went crazy. Madame Hu's segment is my only window into the upper crust. Her life is my dream. What is she buying? Though she once made plenty of money, it was her first time in an international auction house. Seeing the listed numbers, she was dazed, as if she'd landed on another planet. Mom, it's just a red carpet. No need for jewelry this expensive. I gave a cool smile. You'll have to get used to it. My jewelry box has no most expensive, only more expensive. If my daughter-in-law plays at this level, how will jewelry collectors hold their heads up? Anything still on the market is, by default, not the true apex. The real top pieces have long been locked deep in vaults. Hardly anyone sees them. What's called precious is something so valuable that even if you want it, you can't buy it. Seems she still didn't fully understand the family she'd married into. That's on Fo Tong. Hot searches flared. Madame Hua's 140 million jewelry. Madame Hua in custom gown. Madame Hua is a master stylist. Stars gather tonight. Yet the one dominating the trending list was me, just an ordinary, boring, rich mother-in-law who pampers her daughter-in-law. That night's red carpet was definitely high level enough for her dress. It was a heavyweight award, and my outstanding daughter-in-law was invited as a judge. The more I looked, the more my useless, still entangled son seemed unworthy of her. The crew specially arranged a few audience seats for mothers-in-law to watch their daughters-in-law shine at work, to feel their charm. As for Madame Trao, she was about to lose all face. Somehow, Lum San squeezed onto the red carpet. She's a pianist, at best a variety show star. What is she doing on a film festival red carpet? And then, clearly inexperienced, she stopped 3 times for every step. The pressed photographers didn't know her. No one shot an unknown. But the live stream cameras still showed her. Second-hand embarrassment. The show's live comments swarmed to mock her. What's wrong with her? She just returned and tries to build an innocent artist. She's not that young. To go against Van Yurk, consider your strength. Our Van Yurk has won 2 major Best Actress awards. She's here to steal the rich husband, but the real rich family isn't CEO Fo, it's Madame Hua. After the red carpet, the actresses touched up hair and makeup before the ceremony. Tears welled again for Lum San. She even blocked the reporter following her outside the door. She had no private dressing room, nowhere to cry, so she had to find a quiet spot. Madame Trao had given up. Facing the camera, she laughed heartily. Young people have moods, let them be. We should give them time and space. Actually, it wasn't deserted, just that everyone was busy and ignored her. I had only gone looking for Van Yurk and didn't intend to overhear her whining on the phone. But why does she keep saying, "Ah tongue this, ah tongue that"? I couldn't not listen. I needed evidence. Then I could uprightly boot that money-wasting brat out. Ah tongue, I really miss you. If you could be with me, I'll give you... After we finish filming, I'll give you I'll tell you the time and place beforehand. I gripped my phone, hesitating whether to call. He truly was being ungrateful. I can allow him not to love her, but absolutely not allow cheating while still married. That made me think of Fonyi and Trek. Maybe our relationship didn't sour for nothing. He simply had too many rumors, too many admirers. I'm so rich, why worry about gains and losses in love? So we drifted apart. A hand patted my shoulder. Von Yerk, in a shimmering silver mermaid gown, eyes limpid like water, a massive blue sapphire necklace from yesterday's auction at her throat. This child is truly beautiful. People naturally feel affection and pity for beautiful things. Just like years ago, I couldn't bear to let Fonyi and Trek sink in the mud. I also can't bear to let her be mired in a failed marriage. I heard it all, she said, and nodded. Let's go. Once she steps onto the red carpet, onto the stage, she's a star born to be seen, destined to be inscribed in film history. She won't be bothered by someone still unseen. After the ceremony, I still saw sorrow lingering at her eyes. Truly, I don't understand how that Brad managed to marry her. Want to travel? I asked. Travel? I'm not taking new work. Where to? The sea. I'll take you to relax. She did want a break. Young and already a best actress. Behind it were countless works as steps. She's famous for hard work. Even marriage was squeezed into a gap. Now that she finally has free time, why not go unwind? She's been many places, but never seriously traveled. Okay, thank you, Mom. When do we go? In 10 days. 9, 8, 7, 6. A thunderous roar came from above. A helicopter slowly descended. I pulled her aboard. She hadn't reacted yet. I haven't packed. No need. Everything's ready. That's the money superpower. A trip that happens the moment you say it. Indeed, say go and go. Because we vacationed on an island, the production seized the heat of earlier episodes and set the finale there, inviting all the husbands of each pair. Thanks, but utterly unnecessary. I had to contact investors to pull funding. Worse yet, the most awkward one was Lum San. The crew invited Madame Trao's son, recently divorced. Eyes darting, they didn't know how to address each other. Previous episodes were all mother-in-law, daughter-in-law sweet. Now the finale brings the whole family. Should Lum San act lovey with a newly divorced man with 2 kids? No ship to push. As for me, facing Fonyi and Trick, it was awkward. The divorce papers were sent, now they want us to play a harmonious family? Same with Fo Tung and Von Yerk. He looked gaunt from caring for Dad, and she was cold. The comments. Both couples in this family look like divorced people pretending to be harmonious. A rich family alliance without love, but looks-wise they match. Who knows Mr. Fo hasn't filmed for years? Will the best actor ever return? If Nurk Nurk is returning and he's on the show, can acting be far? CEO Fo is handsome too. Why does no one praise him? He looks fine alone, but next to Mom and Dad, he's like the landlord's silly son. He, alone, wallowed in the tragedy of parents divorcing when he was just over 20. Even his wife ignored him, his face gloomy. We came to relax, yet here we were working overtime, facing Fonyi and Trek. The mood dipped. Worse, Lum San tried to insert herself. Atong, do you remember this shirt? Does it still look good on me? She deliberately wore their high school uniform. A scene of hellish reunion seemed to congeal. I was ready to grind my teeth. She turned her face away. The idiot actually nodded bluntly. Her eyes lit up. She still had a chance. He looked deadly serious, more and more like Madame Trio's debtor. How could it not look good? Silence. She stammered to cover. Atong, what do you mean? What debtor? Our relationship. She didn't finish before he cut in. After all, a guy just past 20, his eyes widened. After graduation, you borrowed $3 million from me as a study abroad fund. I owe you in black and white with an official stamp. It's legally binding. A few days ago, you said you'd repay after filming, but each time I called, you dodged. I knew you'd stiff me. If you don't pay, get ready for a legal freeze." She fled in anger. He turned back to see 3 pairs of eyes staring. He jumped. "What? You were contacting her because she owes you money? What else? Before, I didn't need it, so I didn't press. Now, Mom froze my cards. If I don't collect, I'll be drinking the northwest wind." Misfortune never comes singly. Now she won't pay, and the interest isn't even high. I didn't believe it was that simple. You could ask your dad and your wife. Her name's on Forbes. What 20-something asks his wife for money? Asking dad, too, wouldn't that be mooching? I laughed coldly. "And taking your mother's isn't mooching?" He grinned. "You're not a fake mom. You look like my sister." I slapped him. "There, I found it. With an IQ like his, no wonder he did that. Which brain did he inherit?" I looked at phony and Trick. Without lifting his head, he knew what I was thinking. "I topped the grade in school," I sneered, as if I had bad grades. "He also topped the grade," he said. "Good grades don't mean high IQ. High IQ doesn't mean high EQ." Right, my IQ and EQ are both high. Yet for 20 years you didn't notice I had a crush on you. I kept a straight face. A secret crush isn't meant to be known. I don't buy it. Perhaps the only thing this show accomplished was clearing the air between her and my son. When he finally learned why his cards were frozen and why his wife was cold, he collapsed inside. From then on, he resented Lamsan, feeling she'd destroyed his innocent image. Back then, he was just a green youth who'd known her for weeks. She drained his allowance and even dreamed of kissing his face. Worse, she made him feel sullied. Who could accept that? Of course not. So he decisively broke up, but inexperience left him $3 million in debt. Because of that, he didn't dare delete her contact, and his wife, angry by association, drifted away. $3 million isn't easy to swallow. Later, when the right to collect shifted to Van Yerk, only then did she hurry to repay and delete all contact. As for me, like I'd completed a mission to rewind time, I suddenly returned to 18. I was dozing on the desk. Opening my eyes, I saw the fresh, handsome face of phoneme Trek. Heaven! Since when did he become my desk mate? He raised an eyebrow. I asked the teacher to switch seats. I eyed him warily. "What are you up to?" He smiled faintly. "If you can't see me in the dark, I'll stand in the light. No more secretly." I narrowed my eyes. "Do you remember you once said you wanted me to keep you?" His face froze, teeth grinding. Seems the road to chasing his future wife is still rugged, but he didn't despair. He even swore to avoid all mistakes, persisting until he could stand beside Huziyep. Yet one question remains. Can my silly son coax his wife out of anger? And if we don't give birth to Fo Tong, will she still be my daughter-in-law? I asked seriously. "Are you sure we'll still have Fo Tong this time?" He shrugged, eyes deep, not daring to guarantee. "Let's try again." This guy is still a student, so unserious. But I have a feeling that no matter how many twists, our family can't be separated. He's silly but sincere, she's capable and gentle, and he persists in pursuing me despite all obstacles. The more I look, the more this family is ridiculous yet lovable. In the end, we chose to set aside the ambiguities and enjoy the present. Those $3 million, consider them tuition for growing up. Someday, in the future, at night the whole family will gather around the table. Laughter will fill the room. She will secretly glare at my silly son while serving me food. The boy will grin like he's won the lottery. Seeing this, I'll sigh. Perhaps happiness is like that. Noisy and lively, yet warm to the core. And I believe from here, this family will have many more humorous yet sweet stories, one after another, unending. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments, suggestions, and feelings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.